Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and this is leftover turkey soup with matzo balls. This is the best recipe to make right after Thanksgiving. Now, I've been taking a survey. I have been making cooking videos for 12 years on YouTube. I'm an OG. And everybody that helps me create my videos, all my team, and all of my viewers say, Rebecca, the matzo ball soup is the best. But what the heck, you're not Jewish. Well, yeah, I'm not Jewish. But I've got so many Jewish friends, and they've taught me the secrets, which I'm incorporating in this super easy, very few ingredients, matzo ball turkey soup recipe. The ingredients for this dish is a turkey carcass. This is the leftovers of a wonderful Friends Thanksgiving I just had with my art class. Just last night, we had dinner party art class, and I made the turkey. And this is how my turkey came out. Not bad. I took some pictures of my turkey. We had 18 people for that dinner that night, and I had a 22-pounder. My turkey was a hooter to feed all these people. They all brought things too. It was a potluck Friends Thanksgiving turkey dinner. Oh, here we all are in the kitchen, filling our plates with everybody's special recipes. We were milling about. That was so much fun. But after the fun and games were over, I came home with a carcass. So that's where we're at. This is the very most classic of all chicken soup or turkey soup recipes. There are no fancy ingredients in this at all. We start with 2.5 gallons of water. And through all this talking, I piped it up on high just to save time to get this recipe started. I count on this recipe being very messy. The kitchen is the messiest room in my house, and today is no exception. So to make an appearance in this recipe will be my Ecovacs T30S combo. Nice to have my cleaner on deck for this recipe. I did some work on the carcass. Here are all the bones of the carcass, and here's the fat of the carcass. What you think is hardly anything left, that is just not true. There's always a lot left on your turkey carcass, and that's enough to feed an army. Even looking at the bones, you can still see there's meat on them, and that fat pile, that just looks yummy. I kind of want to pick on that. But after separating the fat and the bones, I also got a full plate of meat. This is the turkey meat. Oh, I see turkey enchiladas, I see turkey sandwiches, or I see extra yummy pieces of turkey in my turkey matzo ball soup. Whatever you like. Classic turkey or chicken soup simply has celery, carrots, and onions. In this case, 1 small bunch of celery, washed and cleaned, about 8 carrots peeled, and 3 peeled onions. And in the broth, that's all there's going to be. Except I'm also going to add 3 large bay leaves and some salt. Not that much salt though. 2 tablespoons should do for 2.5 gallons of water. And for the matzo balls in the soup, I use pre-packaged Matzo Meal. I poured some out in a bowl, and next to that is the turkey fat. And it was so easy for me to get that fat from the top of my gravy or the top of all the juices of the turkey. It's everywhere. It comes out of the turkey. Save it. This is just fantastic. And what I don't use today for the matzo balls is going to go right in my fridge for some other great recipe later. Let's start our stock. I had to find my largest stock pot for this recipe. And I suggest you do too, because you can always freeze anything left over from this recipe. Into it, we put everything that was left over from the carcass. We got a thigh bone, and we got a turkey wing, and then all the fat that was left over, the skin that nobody ate, that's a miracle, and stuff from the bottom of my turkey roasting pan. That's all going in because that's all flavor. And in go the 3 bay leaves. Give it a stir. And I even see some of the sage that's in there. That sage is from my recipe of my sage butter turkey, which is on my channel. Let me show you some speed ways to chop up your celery, carrots, and onions. The celery is the easiest. I just washed it. And with 1 quick swoop, we're just gonna go as thin as we can to chop them as small as we can, and it just goes so fast. Even with the stalks inside, that has great flavor. You want all that. Those will get very tender in your soup with all that flavor. Now, if you're worried that these bites might be too big per person, a trick is just to cut them down the center and make them a little thinner. So everything's pretty small. So by the time it's all chopped up in rapid fashion, the little bites will fit on a spoon. Now at this time, from Are You Good preparation, you might be tempted to throw it in the stock pot. Don't do that. Put it in a bowl to be saved to add later, because there's a lot of bones going on in there and nobody wants a bone in their bite of turkey soup. Chopping lesson number 2. Chop off the impurities and the top. Now for fat carrots, we're going to cut it down lengthwise. 1 and 2 and 3. And so what we're getting is bite-sized carrots that we're going to be chopping up in a crisscross applesauce way. Look how fast that is to get through a carrot. And again, the spoon test. We're good. My belief is that if cooking happens fast, we are more pleased to be cooking. We are very busy people. Cooking and cleaning can be trouble and take us away from other things we prefer to do, like eating what we cooked. Here is my method for the onion. You cut it in half after it's been peeled, and then you just get your knife in here and you cut little slits. Be careful, don't get your fingers. And then I cut in more slits this way. Just a little bit, not all the way to the end. You don't want it to fall apart. And down it goes. And what's happening is we're getting little tiny pieces of onion. In my experience, if my kids could identify an onion in some soup, they wouldn't eat it. They'd avoid it and they'd complain to me about it. Therefore, you've got to make them really small. And I give them just a fast extra. Chop, chop. Spoon test, they pass. And after all the chopping of all those vegetables, we have one big bowl of all these raw vegetables with the celery, that's on the bottom, the carrots, and the onion. Altogether, that's got to be at least 10 cups of carrot, celery, and onion. When you first start your stock, have it on high. And now it's been about 20 minutes it took to come to a rapid boil. I can already smell it throughout the house. That smells just great. Now we're going to turn it down to medium or low. Now, if you wanted to, you could have this cook overnight. In fact, I think I will, because all of those bones are full of tons of nutrients. And I have the time, so I'm just going to do that. You could have just let it cook for 2 hours on medium with just a simmer, but no way. I want this down to a bone broth because I'm going to freeze some of it when it's done. So on goes the lid, and I'm going to let the steam escape though from the side. That way it will reduce. It's been 24 hours, and take a look at this stock. We see the volume's been reduced by about half, and look at the color. Oh, it's just gorgeous. Now we have to take the bones out. I like to use some type of strainer that's going to grab a lot at the same time. And then I put it into another strainer. And this is over a plate to catch any of the broth that drips out. You want to make sure to get it all. There's so much that the carcass was made of that we are getting out of here and scooping to our strainer. When you get to the bottom, you see that there's a lot of meat in that. And you want to really check on the bottom. You sure don't want any bones left. So I do this about 10 times just to make sure. I don't want someone chipping a tooth, having it stick in their mouth. Okay, that's done. And look at all that broth. That's got to go back in the soup. And make a run for the border. Oh boy, what a mess. And this is going to go back in our soup. I don't waste a drop, except for the parts I spill on my floor. It's time for my Ecovacs D-Bot T30S combo to go clean up the kitchen. It's such a mess right now. I wanted to vac and mop this mess in my kitchen. One pass is just fine. And I want the cleaning speed to be fast, with the deep clean and turbo power. Next, and out of its home base that has just put hot water into this vacuum, because when you're cleaning a kitchen, you need hot water with those scrubbing pads. And as it's entering the kitchen, it's using its True Edge technology. It will go right up to your baseboards and the side of my cabinets. It's a True Edge adaptive edge mopping technique, which extends the mop plate to press up and go against corners and sides of your room. And I can watch it as it goes all around my kitchen in its mapping. Isn't that neat? Where that dot is where it's working. So I can be in the other room to know that my kitchen is finished. Well, standing right here and looking at it, oh, it's done a great job. I'm going to send it home. I'm going to end the task. I've had this Ecovacs D-Bot T30S combo for about 6 months. It is so dependable. There has been no maintenance I've had to do on it. It's so easy to tell it to go hot mop any area I want. Now that mop is coming out at 158 degrees Fahrenheit of hot water. That's great to get up germs and also the grease that came out of that turkey. That was an oily mess. And my Dbot T30S robot vacuum combo also works great in other rooms of my house. I have this cat. Her name is Meow Meow. Meow Meow is a messy cat, and Meow Meow likes to hang out underneath beds. Well, this is a great place to send my Dbot T30S. With 11,000 PA, that's the vacuuming suction power, which is at the top of robot vacuum suction powers. It vacuumed up all that cat hair, all that debris, all those dust bunnies, wherever they come from, and in no time, it cleaned a mess like this spotless. Now this Ecovacs Dbot T30S is a combo, meaning it has a handheld vacuum attached to it. I use that daily. I'm a mess in the kitchen, and every day when I make my coffee, oh, those grounds will go everywhere. So having this handheld vacuum is a great tool. Having my Ecovacs Dbot T30S combo for 6 months has surely been great to get all kinds of messes in my house. I give it a workout and it keeps on working. The messes in my house are endless. I love this robot mopping vacuum to pick everything up. And you might have noticed my long hair on my channel. Well, that gets all over the bathroom floor, and other messes do too. So it's great because it has zero tangle technology. That means getting up my hair isn't going to get tangled underneath it in the brush. It chops up the hair because it has blades in that brush. So it truly is hands-free cleaning. Check out all this hair that came out of the dust bag, and check out the blades that cut up all that hair. That is an advancement in robot mopping vacuums. Every time I used to clean, I'd have to check underneath the vacuum to see what was going on because the cleaning would get impaired because of all the hair tangled around the brush. Not anymore. It goes right through and right into the dust bag. Great job, Dbot T30S combo. My kitchen is clean and glistening. I'm ready to continue on with my recipe. So after you've gotten all your bones out, there's 2 choices to make. I had covered up my turkey overnight in the refrigerator. I can just put this back into the stock to make the turkey matzo ball soup. And I can throw this away. But there's a dilemma. I don't like to waste food. There is a lot of meat to be had in this bowl. If you take it away from the bones, I suggest that. It's gonna be soft and tender. It's been cooking all night. This is perfectly good to serve in your soup, and it's delicious. The decision is up to you though, of which turkey to add later, or a combination of both. Let's get making our matzo balls. The recipe for the matzo balls includes matzo ball meal, the fat from the turkey. You can get that when you make the gravy, or you can skim it off the top of your stock. You'll need some salt, you'll need 6 eggs, and you'll need some broth from the turkey stock. The recipe that'll come on your package of the Matzo Meal is just great. This is what I use. But I always triple the recipe, or even more. I love those matzo balls. For that big pot of turkey matzo ball, I'm gonna have 3 times the recipe. I'm cracking 6 eggs. I always do a little one first because using the little bowl, if I were to get a shell in it, I could dig it out of there really easily. It's my handy method to avoid eggshells in a bite of turkey soup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 eggs. Not a single shell. I lucked out. So whisk up your eggs. To that, we're adding 3 tablespoons of the fat from our turkey stock. 1 and 2 and 3. And 3 tablespoons that I stole from my big pot on the stove of the turkey stock. 1, 2, 3. And for every batch, we're adding 1 teaspoon of salt. This is kosher salt. 1, 2, and 3. Now whisk all that together. You want it really well incorporated. And I'm making 3 batches of matzo balls. Every batch is 1/2 cup of the matzo meal. So that's gonna go in 1. Here's my second half cup, and here's my third half cup, for a total of 1.5 cups of the matzo meal. And that's gonna get whisked up too. It's gonna stick on the sides, so you wanna grab that and bring it into the center and put some elbow grease into it. And the challenge is, now you gotta get it out of the whisk. Oh, that's not bad. Most of it came out. So this is loose. You want the air left in there. And now this is gonna go in the fridge for 20 minutes so all of the liquid can just absorb into that matzo meal. So pop it in. It's time to inspect our broth. We see that it is now reduced to about 1/3 of the original amount. It's time to add in our vegetables. And because the matzo balls are going to absorb some of that liquid, I'm adding another 8 cups of water. It had really reduced because I had overnight let it cook. I need to bring that to a boil, so on high it goes. Those vegetables are going to give it a lot of flavor. You're really going to want them to cook for about 45 minutes. Once it comes to a boil, we'll turn it down again to a medium. And in 20 minutes, those matzo balls go in. I like being frugal because I think it's very expensive to raise a family. So check this out. Here we have the bones. This is the boneyard. This is all the meat that came off the bones. And this is all the turkey that we first cut off the carcass. What was still left on the carcass is even more volume than the meat we had cut off the carcass. I find this quite fascinating, and I wanted you to know this. It's good information to know so you can make the decisions you want to make for feeding your family. Personally, I'm using all the meat that came off those bones that I'd cooked overnight, and I'm going to use all the meat of the new because I want this big batch to have a lot of protein and a lot of flavor. Oh, and did I mention the boneyard can be used again to make another broth. There is still a ton of flavor in this, so I put it in a big zippy bag and into the freezer it's gonna go. I love making homemade soups, and I have another batch ready to go when I want to make another soup. Let's check out our stock with all those vegetables. I'm turning it down to just medium. That's been cooking 20 minutes. We're ready to put our matzo balls in now. Now this bowl is cold and it's firm. See, I'm touching it like this. It's firm. That's what I want. Now for the lightest matzo balls, you take a fork and you just flake it out like this. I am not going to roll them, and let me tell you why. Put that one in and go to the next. If I were to roll these into a ball, it would be hard as a rock. I want all the air in there. Plop it in and continue just with the fork, peeling it lightly off the fork. Now this ball is going to increase in size like 4 times. As I'm making them, I'm eyeballing where to put the plunge in so it doesn't get the other one next to it. I don't want them to stick together. This is about perfect. It holds together just fine. Someone's doing a cannonball. Time to do a dunk. Hey, it's Adult Swim. Hey kids, get out of the pool. It's for the adults. All in. It's a pool party. Last one in's a rotten egg. And we got to count for the whole team. No stragglers. And the very last one in gets a special spot. Nobody's been there yet. They are already growing in size. I'm gently kind of moving the water around. And now this is where you have to cover your pot. I'm going to put this on medium. I want a low rumble of a boil. I don't want the pressure of the boil to break up any of the matzo balls. Now that's going to cook for 45 minutes because the last 10 minutes I want my turkey in, which will be our last step. I want to check the soup. Okay, this is a perfect boil. If it was on a raging boil, you could have very tough matzos. You want it on a gentle boil while it's cooking your matzo balls. This is looking fantastic. Time to put the turkey in. Here is the batch from the bones. That's all going in. Oh, yum. And here is the other turkey that I had patiently cut off, the carcass. That goes in. And for every gallon of homemade stock, you need 1 tablespoon of salt. That's kosher salt. Now I'm going to stir this around. I'm going to bring my heat up because that chicken was cold. It needs to heat up. And we're going to stir. Oh yeah, look at all that turkey. And there's a matzo ball hidden underneath the turkey. Oh yeah, that looks delicious and it smells delicious too. I'm going to stir it a tiny bit because I want that salt to dissolve. It's almost done, but I want to take a bite to see how the salt is. I might need to add some more. This is a method my dad taught me in cooking. It's going to cool it down so it doesn't burn my mouth. It's good, but I think it needs more salt. This would be more than 1 gallon because it started at 2.5 gallons, so I'm okay to put 1 more tablespoon of salt. I feel good about that. And I'm stirring it around some more. Soup's on. Let me go fishing for a matzo ball. Got one. I want to find another. Oh, and what about some of that turkey? Oh, yes. And another matzo ball. And 3's company. Oh, yeah. What a nice big bowl of turkey matzo ball soup. Oh, yum. It's ready.
Isn't that the most beautiful matzo ball soup you've ever seen? And this was made with a leftover turkey. It is the simplest recipe ever. I hope you try to make this with your leftover turkey this Thanksgiving and Christmas season. It has been such a joy for me to share with you one of my favorite all-time recipes in my family, and also from all the viewers I've had over the years and all my friends and family too. I hope you make a comment about this recipe.
And I want to prove to you how soft and fluffy they are. I'm going to cut this one in half and show you the inside. Look at that. Now with a spoon, I'm going to get a piece off the top. Can you just tell how light and fluffy that is? And I always feel so excited after I've made this big pot of turkey matzo ball soup to share with my family. The next day, it's time to take a bite. That is the very best matzo ball I've ever had in my life, except all the other ones I make. It's so much better than any restaurant I've ever been to. And look it, you can make it yourself. This is the recipe, and it's so easy. Okay, I know it's supposed to have some of the turkey stock too, and maybe a little piece of chicken in that bite. Okay. Oh, the whole thing is great. I hope you click the link in the description box and check out the Ecovacs D-Bot T30SI Omni Combo. I love that vacuum. I hope you do too. I'm so happy they sponsored this video so I could bring you one of my very favorite holiday recipes. Made with leftovers. I mean, that costs hardly anything to make, and it'll feed an army. Okay, back to my lunch. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to get notified of my next video, and let's keep making great recipes in life. And today is one with your leftover turkey. I'm gonna go have my little lunch, like a mousey in the corner. See you next time. That's so good. If you like this video, here's some more of my recipes over there. I think you'll like those too. Just click.